I first fell in love with the game of soccer at a really young age, probably my second year playing. I had a rough start. My first year, I never touched the ball once. I played 11v11 co-ed, and I sort of just picked daisies and smiled at the camera for my mom and did cartwheels. But then my second year, my mom had asked after the season, do you want to continue playing? Do you want to try other sports? Like, you could do gymnastics. And I was like, well, maybe we should try something else. My mom's like, okay, well, just one more year and see how you like it. And then if not, we'll go just do something else. And the second year, my mom said that, like, off the kickoff, I just took the ball, dribbled it straight to the goal, and shot it in. And ever since then, I've been in love with scoring goals, and it's been, gosh, 2 years later, something like that. My parents have been hugely influential in my career. Neither of them played soccer themselves, but as soon as my sisters and I took to it, they were our coaches, our managers, our cheerleaders, our biggest critics. I remember growing up, my parents would tell me, you can go out with your friends as long as you can juggle 100 times first, or, talent is a gift and, it's a sin to waste it. Go outside and practice and make yourself great. My mom shagged balls. She drove me an hour and a half to practice even after I got my license in high school so I could do my homework in the car. And, they've traveled around the world now watching me play and getting to enjoy it on the back end. I remember everything about my youth club career. I think that there's nothing like being a young girl playing soccer. I get to play now in front of huge crowds and with all this spotlight and attention, and I don't think I'll ever have that feeling that I did going through my U14 national championship. I remember winning state cup. I can tell you how I scored, what the score was. I remember going to Hawaii. That was our regionals, Region 4, and I remember that national championship. And I think that it stays with me so much because it was about camaraderie. It was about growing and learning who you were and, making these lifelong bonds. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I was just talking about this. I can tell you whose dad that is, whose dad that is. I both stay in touch with both of them. I actually don't know who's carrying me though. Oh, I look really young for an 18-year-old, just throw that out there. But yeah, I think that this kind of embodies exactly what I said. Just the camaraderie of our parents in the background supporting us, following us all the way, celebrating with your teammates. In terms of advice for young players, I always say it's a little difficult to keep perspective at that age, and it feels like at times your whole life is riding on winning and losing games. But I think that, what I remember now isn't, the wins, and it wasn't the success or the accolades. It was the feeling. It was how much fun I had with my friends and how much fun I had working towards my goals and learning those important lessons. So I think for young players, just keep that in mind, that when you're happy, you're at your best. You're playing at your best. So stress and pressure, let it fall away and let yourself be who you are, and that's the best you can do for yourself and for your team.
USU Soccer is the largest youth sports organization in the country and provides playing opportunities for first-time players as well as future superstars. Everybody starts somewhere, and for the over 3 million players every year, USU Soccer is the place to grow and to develop.
Well, it's a lot of fun to watch them play. It's a lot of fun to watch them build their confidence up and to learn the technical piece of the game, but also a lot about teamwork and what it takes to be a good teammate.
The only thing that I can do for them is really have them understand that through discipline, hard work, framed as soccer, but more importantly applied in school, is the vehicle ultimately for the success of themselves and their families.
I like playing competitive soccer because it gives me something to be really proud of, and that I know that I'm putting my effort into something and that I'm really getting results out of it. I love my team and I love playing, so the whole thing, it can be hard, but it's 100% worth it, and it just gives you something, a purpose in life that you can really put your heart and soul into.
I first fell in love with the game of soccer when I was about 6 years old. My parents signed me up for a youth league, and I love running around and scoring goals and doing all the fun things, sliding and kicking the ball. So that was the beginning of it, and I try and cast my mind back to those days when things get tough.
I've got quite quite a few memorable youth soccer moments. It was a learning experience. You know, I was one of the better players on my club team, but then, you know, being selected for the New Jersey ODP, I suddenly found myself kind of at the bottom. And, you know, when I made the regional team, suddenly found myself at the bottom again. So I think it was definitely a learning experience, and I had to work hard, and you know, it didn't come naturally for me. I had to kind of work at it. But I would say, you know, playing with my club team, the Medford Strikers in New Jersey, winning 2 state championships with that team, they were like my family, and I still keep in touch with some of those girls, and those were some of my most memorable moments, kind of being with that group for 4 or 5 years.
You can't ever have success without remembering how you got there. I believe that it's the only right thing to do, to always go back to where you started. Always go back to the people who helped you, thank them, and then go back to where you started in the same environment and try to help other people achieve the level of success that you have.
1, 2, 3, Coyotes!
I love soccer because it kind of just embraced who I was. I was competitive, I was aggressive, I just wanted to run for days, and it was fun. I loved being a part of a team and fell in love with it pretty quickly. I chose soccer as my single sport I wanted to do pretty early. My parents were huge, I think, in my career, especially when I was younger. My dad coached me a few years, playing in my first couple years. And then when I kind of went in to go play in club, they were my cheerleaders. They were the ones that would go out with me when I wanted to train on my own a little bit, and driving me to and from practice, wherever it was, and tournaments they came with as well. So we were a big soccer family, that was for sure. Our state cup was fun. My team was very competitive. I mean, we had a lot of competition as well, but I can't remember how many we won. Maybe 9, I think, is what we counted with our team, which made it so much fun. That was always like the big goal at the end is win state cup, go to regionals, and go to nationals. And we always fell short going to nationals, which still hurts today to even talk about. But I had so much fun in those tournaments, and my team made it even 10 times better to be a part of. Looking back on it, playing in state regionals and the big tournaments for us back then made me a better player. It inspired me to want to go further and take it to the next level, wherever that was. And for me, it was to go to college. It was to be a part of the youth national teams. The competition just brought that want and the will to work harder to try and be a better player. And kind of being a part of those bigger games, those bigger tournaments at a younger age, kind of just planted a seed to want to continue and go as far as I could, and was able to go with the opportunities that I had.
Serving it, it's headed home. The U.S. has scored, and they'll take the lead.
Wide open is Julie Johnson.
As I've learned with my journey is to enjoy the journey. That it is hard, but it's definitely possible. So dream big and dream as big as you possibly can, and you definitely can be a part of this team. It just takes a lot of hard work, and if you're willing to do that, then you'll be here. If you're willing to understand that it's going to take a lot, but it's so worth it, and if you love it, go for it.
I've talked to a lot of college coaches who feel that the National League is the best recruiting tool for them, because they know that everybody has earned their right to be here, and that every game is going to exhibit a lot of quality players.
You know, you see all the college coaches out here for the National League, and this is a great environment for us to see players at that next level, to see if they fit into our programs. But the competition is very good, and it's refreshing to watch some really good games.
It's been a while since I've been around, youth soccer, and this is an excellent tournament. It's run really well. Every team I see tries to play and has a good mentality with good coaching. I've been very, very impressed, and it looks to me like U.S. soccer and certainly U.S. youth soccer is heading in the right direction. So I'm quite pleased and happy to be a part of it.
Welcome back to Field 4, Simplot Sports Complex here in Boise. We're at the U17 Girls Championship. Eastside FC 98 Red, Celtic Storm 99 Premier battling for a chance to move on to Frisco, Texas for the USU Soccer National Championships in late July. Chris Lewis on hand here in hot Boise. Thanks for tuning in. Celtic Storm 99 and Eastside FC 98 Red. Eastside out of Washington, Celtic Storm out of Utah. You can guess the colors. Eastside FC red in the red and Celtic Storm in the green and black. U17 Girls Championship is underway. So for 45 minutes, count them up. First half underway, 10:45 scheduled start, and we're pretty much on time here in Boise. Coaches each way, Curtis Graham for Celtic Storm and Tom Vilek for Eastside FC. Now, Celtic Storm, one of the storylines to watch. They only have one substitution, only one sub. So with the temperatures rising as the morning turns afternoon, we'll see how they hold up. Meanwhile, Eastside FC, a champion back in 2013. Although they're not the defending champions, they knocked off the defending champions, La Roca at a Utah 2-1 in the semifinals to reach the championships this morning. Eastside, talented bunch. This is Zoe Milburn. Flips it ahead, and the keeper scoops it up. We go Coopers each way for Celtic Storm. It's Savannah Empey, class of 2017, so she'll be a senior in high school next year. And for Eastside FC, their keeper, Molly Monroe, who's attending Cal Poly. Now, in the Eastside FC, some of their players have committed to some of the top D1 universities out there. So we know they're loaded with talent, and we'll see if that manifests itself in this morning's game. Natalie Weidenbach, who's committed to Texas, launches it ahead. This is Laura Roberts. Roberts with a cross, but nobody home on the back post. Joanna Harbor, perhaps the top player in the national U17 team. She's a part of Team USA. Also, back in 2013, was the Golden Ball winner, with Eastside FC winning the national championship. So we have our first corner kick, and it's only a couple of minutes into the game. Eastside FC coming off of a 2-1 win over La Roca out of Utah. In fact, La Roca in the group stage beat Celtic Storm 3-0. Top of the box. Angles to the near side, still on the ground. Hits the near post on a kick from Olivia Vanderyacht. So the post on the right side gets hit. East side off to a flying start, putting the pressure on Savannah Empey. Empey's committed to BYU. A sunny day, and it's been hot all tournament long. Right now, temperatures above the mid-70s. Supposed to get up to 93. That's the high. Already on field 4, the U17 Boys Championship took place. And it was a team out of Washington, Seattle United, who won it 2-0 over LA Premier FC. So looking to be a Washington sweep for Eastside FC if they get the victory. It'd be two teams out of Washington at the U17 level heading to Frisco, Texas. Teams trade touches in the midfield. Again, Eastside the one putting the pressure on. A spin by Zoe Milburn. Angles it to Laura Roberts. Dump towards the corner. And Senna Warren will handle there. Warren, part of the defensive group for Celtic Storm. Mia Powers. Steady control and a shot on goal so far. Hit the post on the near side. Natalie Weidenbach to throw in. Laura Roberts looking to turn the corner, cut off by Haley McCoon. Four players for Celtic Storm will be heading to Dixie State, a couple to Utah Valley, and then a few BYU commits as well. Corner kick number 2 for Eastside. Laura Roberts to take it. Top of the box blast, too tall. Goal kick for Celtic. Mia Powers, the commit to Minnesota, went over the crossbar. So a day full of championship action here in Boise. All the broadcast start times before noon. Try to get them in while it's the morning before the hottest part of the day. Bunch of finals already in the books. Started off with the 13 girls. Southern Cal Blues 1-0 over San Diego. 3-1 FC Salmon. Out of Oregon, they beat Rebel Elite from Southern Cal. So the squad from Oregon and the 15 girls heading to the Nationals. This is the U17 Girls Championship. Celtic Storm with it. Senna Warren. Warren finds Hughes. Hughes cruises near side of the field. Works at center. Brooklyn Vogelsberg back out to the midfield. Touched by Hughes. And it's worked back to Siri Dahl, the Utah Valley commit. Celtic Storm coming off of a 2-0 win off Bulls Academy, who are out of Hawaii. Celtic Storm went 2-1 in the group stage. Their loss to La Roca lost to Eastside FC in the semis. Brooklyn Vogelsberg leads Celtic FC, or Celtic Storm Premier, with 5 goals. In fact, 5 players have multiple goals for a team that's been able to put up multiple goals in nearly every game. In fact, 7 of them in the opener against the New Mexico Rush. Back for Mallory Weller, a defender who committed to Dixie State. Nine minutes in, neither team has scored. Eastside SC had a good look, one that hit the post on the near side. Ellie Bryant was in the mix. Eastside SC, a midfielder, heading to an Ivy League school in Penn in Philadelphia. Here's a Celtic Storm chance. Inside out move by Condell. Settles top of the box. Collision there. Vogelsberg was cut off. The team leader in goals with 5. The group leader in goals. Nobody in the U17 girls group has more. Celtic Storm heading up the near side. Pinball's out to Hughes. Tries to angle it towards the middle of the field, but there's Eastside's defense on point. Megan Floyd cut it off. Throw-in coming for Celtic Storm. "14 state associations make up Region 4. We're here in Boise, Idaho. One Idaho team made it to the championship stage, but earlier on today in the 18 girls side, FC Nova dropped it to Beach Academy out of Southern Cal 1-0. California is split up into 2 parts, northern and southern. The other states that make up Region 4, Alaska, Arizona, Colorado, Hawaii, Montana, New Mexico, Nevada, Oregon, Utah, Washington, and Wyoming. Of course, some states with more than others. 200 teams plus here in Boise this week. Cameron Tucker, nifty footwork, Almost got it to a teammate, but a strong east side back line able to blast it away. Celtic Storm will reset. Their head coach is Curtis Graham. A race to the ball, Vogelsberg, team leader in goals, the one to chase out of bounds. Celtic Storm throw. Celtic Storm out of Utah. East side from Washington. Goal kick after touching Brindley Nelson. Entering today, 4 former national champion winning teams in action, and Eastside FC, one of them. This tournament had 4 defending national champions, not necessarily defending, but former national champions, and all 4 of them made it to Regional Championship Sunday. Eastside FC, national champions back in 2013. So that's 3 years ago. U14 level. Vogelsberg finds Hughes. Slides it to the middle. Back touch and a turnover. An aggressive pass for Vander Yacht. Celtics defense gets it with Allison Carlisle. A verbal commit to Southern Utah. Scooped up Molly Monroe. Celtic had 7 goals in their first game. They're high for a game after that 3. They actually lost a game 3-0 and then bounced back with a win 3-0 over Idaho's own Boise Nationals. Nobody home. Keeper will take this. Savannah Empey. So other than an early look for Eastside, not much going each way. Neither team has wrestled away control. We're still early. Just over 15 minutes in. East side will control. Joanna Harbor, U17 national team for the United States. Harbor mistimed it. Celtic Storm takes it away. On the counter. With a full head of steam, it's served. Molly Monroe cut it off. Impressive run, though, for Celtic Storm taking it coast to coast. Mentioned the team to win it on the boys' side, U17, Seattle United. Eastside FC looking to join them from Washington, and that one could not sneak inside the far post from the shot position, left side of the box. Seattle United had the support from Eastside. Earlier on this tournament, one of their knockout stage games, the team from Seattle stuck around to watch, or the team from Eastside stuck around to watch Seattle United in their game. Allison Carlisle closest to it for Celtic Storm. Looks like she'll be the one to throw it in. Celtic had one opportunity on a counter. Now Cameron Tucker looking to change fields. Finds Vogelsberg with a team-high 5 goals in the tournament. More than 20 soccer fields and plenty of acres of space here at the Simplot Sports Complex with not only soccer fields, baseball fields, and plenty of space for people to just come out, relax, and for this week, enjoy some high-level soccer. One of the best teams from the West meeting, competing, and now on the U17 level on the girls' side, down to just 2. Distance shot, too tall from Laura Roberts. This region, four regions make up U.S. Youth Soccer. Region 1 championships will take place early July in West Virginia. Westfield, Indiana makes up Region 2, and the championship of that will be June 29th, so just a few days. In fact, they're wrapping up their round-robin stage today. Greenville, South Carolina has Region 3. Their group stage also finishes today. Their champion crowned June 30th. Then the winners all head to Frisco, Texas for the round robin, July 26th through the 28th. And then the champion for the U17 girls will be July 31st. So July, dry heat in Texas. Got to start hydrating now. Was she on sides? No. Flag is up. Laura Roberts off sides. Senna Warren. Haley McCune rolls it far for Mallory Weller. Neither team has seeded a goal so far, scoreless. More than 20 minutes have elapsed since the start of this. Zoe Milburn, through ball, nobody there. And we'll see how fatigue plays a factor. Many more substitution options for Eastside. Looking at their bench, they have 6 players ready to check in whenever. On a Celtic Storm side, only 1 substitute. Looking for what would be the expected result, you would have to say Eastside would be the favorite. They're the 2013 national champion. They beat the defending region champion to get here. And that defending regional champion earlier on in this tournament beat Celtic Storm in the group stage. But other than an early look, you'd have to say play even both ways. See, with only 1 substitution, if Celtic can keep it close, get a goal, and hold on. Throw-in coming. Celtic Storm, of course, wearing the green, and Eastside wearing the red. Ashley Hughes out of Dixie State to throw. Or going to Dixie State, I should say. Throw in. This is what it looked like from here, out before it went out on the corner. In fact, no, they're going to say a goal kick for Eastside. More than halfway through half number 1. Not many great scoring chances for either team. One good chance, though, for Eastside. And that came early within the first 5 minutes. A blast off the right post. Since then, Celtic Storm rebounded nicely. Substitution. Eastside brings in Alexa Curtin. Zoe Milburn, the one to exit. Mountains in the distance. On a hot day in Boise, temperature is supposed to reach to the mid-90s. We're creeping towards 80 degrees. It's still morning, but the 11 o'clock hour, sun will rise, temperatures will rise as the stakes move on up as well late in this game. We'll get that big first goal. Perhaps relax a little bit of nerves. Eastside FC, of course, been here, done that. Back when these players were in the U17 group, they were national champions. But that a mistake to give it back to Celtic Storm. Weidenbach throws in. Flares it in a race. Roberts for Eastside offensively trying to grab it. The forward is cut off. Out of bounds for a corner. Roberts to take it. Back post lineup. Roberts with a right foot in the air. Could not get it on the right side of that net. Eastside. take a look at some of the players, where they're playing and committed to college. You have Cameron Tingy, who University of Utah commit. Ellie Bryant, mentioned her already, committed to Penn. Kayleen Pang at Washington. Joanna Harbor committed to Stanford. One of the more decorated players at her level. So this is a loaded roster. Senna Warren. Ball might have hit the hand of Siri Dahl. It did. Belongs to East Side. Hannah Taylor. To Harbor. Harbor. U17 national team, but can't set up on that back post. Her teammate was lurking. Well defended by Celtic. Let's see how this late first half goes with a couple of substitutions for Eastside. No doubt fresher legs. They can work in more players. Substitution will bring on Riley Castilla. Mia Powers heads out. Was 1-1 tie for Eastside in their semifinal. Before it was U.S. national team player Joanna Harbor, U17 national team. She scored 4 minutes after it was tied up by LaRocca. That made it 2-1. There'd be no scoring in the second half. 2-1 the final. Celtic Storm won it 2-0 to get here. Their quarterfinal matchup was tied 2-2. Then in overtime, 2 goals for Celtic Storm to advance. Both those goals by Cameron Tucker. Four defending national champions, or former national champions, probably the better word. Not all of them defending from the previous year, but 4 former champions here in Region 4 in the Far West Regionals, and all 4 made it to Sunday, with Eastside being one of them. Have not registered the go-ahead goal. We're still scoreless. The only great look either way came from Eastside about 5 minutes in. Celtic takes it away. Vogelsberg looking to run it down. Here's Hughes. Hughes sends it wide near the side. Bright sunny skies. Really is a fantastic, picturesque day. Sightline's fantastic. You can see far into the distance. Perhaps one of the more comforting things for these players, although it's hot. Last year, man, was it hot. It was about 110 degrees, the high for most of the days on the weekend last year. Well, the players survived and thrived in the heat. Not as hot this year, although, again, 95 supposed to be the high. But very little humidity here in Boise. So that's perhaps a little bit of a break. Good tackle in the midfield. Cameron Tucker mentions he scored 2 goals in overtime in the quarterfinal. Stopped before she got to the box. She got it with a good tackle. A good tackle took it away. Now here comes East Side on the run. Far side, angled middle, deflected out. Looks like a corner. Chris Lewis here at the Simplot Sports Complex in Boise with Turbo Sports putting this all together. Well-run event. Tournament organizers do everything from set up goals, hang up tents, put up flags, concessions, and much more. So with it being Championship Sunday, pretty much a championship day for them as well. Corner for East Side. A chance to go up 1-0. More than a half hour has gone by here in the first half. Still threatening. In the box and a dive for the keeper for a Celtic Storm, Savannah Empey. Looked like Hannah Taylor was the most threatening player in the vicinity for Eastside. But it goes to Celtic Storm. Their head coach Curtis Graham looking to pull a mini upset of sorts. Get to Frisco, Texas. Callie Burt. Work to Dahl. Stays in. Natalie Weidenbach. Or check it, this the keeper Molly Monroe for Eastside. Ellie Bryant pushes ahead. 3 defenders there. But the ball is won by Alex Curtin for Eastside. About 10 minutes away from the final start of the day in the U16 boys for Strikers FC out of Northern Cal. Check it, Southern Cal. And Real Pumas out of Northern Cal. They'll battle. U18 is underway. San Jose Pac Indios out of Northern Cal. DMS Academy, the opponent, out of Southern Cal. Later in the half, Eastside generating a bit more chances. But nobody's had complete control. No goals registered either way. Castilla finds the waiting midst of Savannah Empey, the BYU commit for Celtic Storm, the keeper. Each team with only one keeper. Empey for Celtic Storm and Monroe for Eastside FC Red. Two more subs ready and willing for Eastside, including Catherine Foster. Also, Maud Vanderkoy comes in, a defender. So again, late in the half, this is when Eastside can strike. They bring in more fresh legs. 1 substitute, 1 reserve. Only 12 players for Celtic Storm. Look to work it to Castilla. Cut off by the defense. Still in the attacking third. Ball barely stayed in bounds. Double comes. Throw in Celtic Storm. Less than 10 minutes left before stoppage time in the first half. That first goal will be huge. Eastside has been perfect in the tournament. No ties, no losses. They scored as many as 5 in a game. The fewest they've been held to has been 2. They've done that twice. And Celtic Storm was shut out once in a 3-0 loss to La Roca. Goal kick for Savannah Empey. Castilla finds the midfield on the Celtic Storm side, and a through ahead. Vogelsberg stops before that back four collapses. Finds Burt. Warren examining, launching. Sweeped out, and a throw-in coming for Celtic Storm. Ball just remains in bounds. And Callie Burt doubled. Sends it towards the middle, gets inside the box before being swept out, and Eastside has been on its heels a little bit late here in the first half, and that's a bit of a surprise. And following the storyline of the lack of substitutions for Celtic Storm, perhaps they'd get more tired later on in the half, but looks like they steadied it a little bit. But there's a mistake. Tried to control the throw. Instead, it rolls out for a goal kick. It took overtime in the 15 boys group in a championship. But Santa Clara Sporting a 2-1 win over Rio Rapids. So that wraps up all the games that started before 10:15. Championship Sunday in Boise. On a warm Sunday morning turning afternoon. A lot of curl on a slice from pretty much between the midfield and the net. Got to a threatening spot, knocked away. Celtic Storm keeping it in their back. Slid up to Burt. Burt approached by 2. Celtic Storm's best look came on a counter. After an east side shot, Celtic came storming up the field. And one of the shots that was saved, keeper was off the line, but recovered in time off of the Alexa Curtin shot. Second game of the day on Field 4. There's more than 20 soccer fields make up the Simplot Sports Complex. We're approaching halftime of game number 2. We'll see how much stoppage time is added on, but about 42 minutes elapsed, I should say, from the clock. Alyssa Carlisle. Siri Dahl for Celtic Storm. Collision with Joanna Harbor. On the far side, Sophia Butterfield hits the ground to commit to Western Washington. Long ball finds the waiting mitts. Savannah Empey there. Vanderkoy. East side patient. Vanderkoy again. Good hustle that time by Harbor, not giving up on it after her initial long touch. And then it's deflected out. Then see the signal there, probably a throw. Indeed the case. So Joanna Harbor, we saw some of what made her special. Harbor in this tournament, team high 4 goals, tied with Olivia Vanderyacht. Half coming to a close. No stoppage time will be added on, and we're over 44 minutes. Harbor flutters it in the air, nearly controlled by Butterfield. Instead, Celtic Storm catches a break right before half. Like a fighter waiting for that bell to end the round. That's kind of what Celtic Storm's feeling like right now, especially with the limited players on the roster. Temperatures right now continuing to rise. Get it to halftime, get those refreshments, and then try to get one early second half. That has to be the attitude for Coach Curtis Graham and Celtic Storm. For Eastside, just find a way to get that first goal. Through the first 45 minutes, neither team has found the back of the nets. Celtic Storm nothing. Eastside zip. We'll be back for the second half right after this.
National League for us as a club has been the ultimate league. It's the single most important thing that we have within our program. And so it opens your eyes in terms of what's out there, not just within your region, but outside of that. And it's through competition. And there's nothing given here in terms of, oh, you're wonderful, you're great, and you've done great in the past. Here, come on in and play National League. No, every single year they understand that, like most things in life that are worthwhile, you have to earn them. And I think there's something really meaningful when you have to step on the field and know that you got there not because you were given something, but you earned that thing with everything that you had, and that's what makes it super special.
I first fell in love with the game of soccer at a really young age, probably my second year playing. I had a rough start. My first year, I never touched the ball once. I played 11v11 co-ed, and I sort of just picked daisies and smiled at the camera for my mom and did cartwheels. But then my second year, my mom had asked after the season, do you want to continue playing? Do you want to try other sports? Like, you could do gymnastics. And I was like, well, maybe we should try something else. My mom's like, okay, well, just one more year and see how you like it. And then if not, we'll go just do something else. And the second year, my mom said that, like, off the kickoff, I just took the ball, dribbled it straight to the goal, and shot it in. And ever since then, I've been in love with scoring goals, and it's been, gosh, 2 years later, something like that. My parents have been hugely influential in my career. Neither of them played soccer themselves, but as soon as my sisters and I took to it, they were our coaches, our managers, our cheerleaders, our biggest critics. I remember growing up, my parents would tell me, you can go out with your friends as long as you can juggle 100 times first, or, talent is a gift and, it's a sin to waste it. Go outside and practice and make yourself great. My mom shagged balls. She drove me an hour and a half to practice even after I got my license in high school so I could do my homework in the car. They've traveled around the world now watching me play and getting to enjoy it on the back end. I remember everything about my youth club career. I think that there's nothing like being a young girl playing soccer. I get to play now in front of huge crowds and with all this spotlight and attention, and I don't think I'll ever have that feeling that I did going through my U14 national championship. I remember winning state cup. I can tell you how I scored, what the score was. I remember going to Hawaii. That was our regionals, Region 4, and I remember that national championship. And I think that it stays with me so much because it was about camaraderie. It was about growing and learning who you were and, making these lifelong bonds. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I was just talking about this. I can tell you whose dad that is, whose dad that is. I both stay in touch with both of them. I actually don't know who's carrying me, though. Oh, I look really young for an 18-year-old. Just throw that out there. But yeah, I think that this kind of embodies exactly what I said. Just the camaraderie of our parents in the background supporting us, following us all the way, celebrating with your teammates. In terms of advice for young players, I always say it's a little difficult to keep perspective at that age, and it feels like at times your whole life is riding on winning and losing games. But I think that, what I remember now isn't, the wins, and it wasn't the success or the accolades. It was the feeling. It was how much fun I had with my friends and how much fun I had working towards my goals and learning those important lessons. So I think for young players, just keep that in mind, that when you're happy, you're at your best. You're playing at your best. So stress and pressure, let it fall away and let yourself be who you are, and that's the best you can do for yourself and for your team.
USU Soccer is the largest youth sports organization in the country and provides playing opportunities for first-time players as well as future superstars. Everybody starts somewhere, and for the over 3 million players every year, USU Soccer is the place to grow and to develop.
Well, it's a lot of fun to watch them play. It's a lot of fun to watch them build their confidence up and to learn the technical piece of the game, but also a lot about teamwork and what it takes to be a good teammate.
The only thing that I can do for them is really have them understand that through discipline, hard work, framed as soccer, but more importantly applied in school, is the vehicle ultimately for the success of themselves and their families.
I like playing competitive soccer because it gives me something to be really proud of, and that I know that I'm putting my effort into something and that I'm really getting results out of it. I love my team and I love playing, so the whole thing, it can be hard, but it's 100% worth it, and it just gives you something, a purpose in life that you can really put your heart and soul into.
I first fell in love with the game of soccer when I was about 6 years old. My parents signed me up for a youth league, and I love running around and scoring goals and doing all the fun things, sliding and kicking the ball. So that was the beginning of it, and I try and cast my mind back to those days when things get tough.
I've got quite a few memorable youth soccer moments. It was a learning experience. I was one of the better players on my club team, but then being selected for the New Jersey ODP, I suddenly found myself kind of at the bottom. And when I made the regional team, suddenly found myself at the bottom again. So I think it was definitely a learning experience, and I had to work hard, and it didn't come naturally for me. I had to kind of work at it. But I would say, playing with my club team, the Medford Strikers in New Jersey, winning 2 state championships with that team, they were like my family, and I still keep in touch with some of those girls, and those were some of my most memorable moments, kind of being with that group for 4 or 5 years.
You can't ever have success without remembering how you got there. I believe that it's the only right thing to do, to always go back to where you started. Always go back to the people who helped you, thank them, and then go back to where you started in the same environment and try to help other people achieve the level of success that you have.
1, 2, 3, Coyotes!
I love soccer because it kind of just embraced who I was. I was competitive, I was aggressive, I just wanted to run for days, and it was fun. I loved being a part of a team and fell in love with it pretty quickly. I chose soccer as my single sport I wanted to do pretty early. My parents were huge, I think, in my career, especially when I was younger. My dad coached me a few years, playing in my first couple years. And then when I kind of went in to go play in club, they were my cheerleaders. They were the ones that would go out with me when I wanted to train on my own a little bit, and driving me to and from practice, wherever it was, and tournaments they came with as well. So we were a big soccer family, that was for sure. Our state cup was fun. My team was very competitive. I mean, we had a lot of competition as well, but I can't remember how many we won. Maybe 9, I think, is what we counted with our team, which made it so much fun. That was always like the big goal at the end is win state cup, go to regionals, and go to nationals. And we always fell short.
The U17 Girls Championship at the Simplot Sports Complex in Boise, brought to you by Nike, the official supplier of U.S. Youth Soccer, Bubba Burger, the official family fun burger, Kohl's, the official department store of U.S. Youth Soccer, National Mango Board, an official snack of U.S. Youth Soccer, MLS, official grassroots partner, Nestle Nesquik, the official post-game drink, and by Positive Coaching Alliance, Toyota, the official automobile of USU Soccer, Wilson Trophy Company, the official awards, medal, and pin supplier, National Soccer Coaches Association of America, official sponsor of USU Soccer, Liberty Mutual Insurance, the official auto, home, life, and workers' compensation insurance, and by Turbo Sports Group, the official video streaming production company of U.S. Youth Soccer Webcasts. U17 Girls Championship. Started the second half. Celtic Storm and Eastside FC. Neither team has scored. Pretty balanced first half. The best look came early on. Eastside FC had a good look, hit the near post. So the team switched side. Half number 2, trip to Frisco, Texas on the line. Chris Lewis with the rest of the Turbo Sports Group. Thanks for watching. 45 minutes and perhaps extra to decide who moves on to Texas in the heat in late July for a chance to play for a national championship. Second half begins. Celtic Storm, their coach Curtis Graham, coming off of a 2-0 win out of a team from Hawaii, Bulls Academy. In the group stage, won 2 of their 3 games. Their loss was to La Roca, the team that Eastside, the opponent today, beat in the semis. Mia Powers, Eastside, the team that won the national championship back in 2013, back when these players were at the U14 level. Have a couple of standouts heading to big-time college programs, including Joanna Harbor, going to Stanford, part of the U17 U.S. national team. Back in 2013, won the Golden Ball National Award for her team taking the national championship. East side in the red, Celtic Storm in the green and black. And a nice tackle takeaway midfield. Cameron Tucker's done it a couple of times. Has the speed to change fields, does it here. Cameron Tucker angles middle. Tucker rolls it across, but it's blasted out to safety. Throw in Celtic Storm. Intended target Brooklyn Vogelsberg. Team's leading scorer this season, or this tournament, I should say, with 5 goals. Condell. Condell with space. Chip. Too tall. McKenna Condell, a commit to Dixie State. Part of this midfield group for the green and black. Through ball. Looked like Vogelsberg was onside. A slide by the keeper to help create traffic, which causes the ball to move out of bounds near side. Throw in Celtic green. Early in the half, if you just want to go with the theory on tired legs, early in the half favors Celtic Storm because this is when they have the fresher legs, a team with only 1 substitute, only 12 on the roster. The later the half goes, with the temperatures moving up, perhaps they'll get more exhausted than their opponent, Eastside, with more than 6 players waiting on their bench. But so far, second half, mostly on the Celtics side. In front of the near post, Brittany Nelson. Nelson again finds a couple of heads of the East Side team. Way to stay in bounds by Roberts. Flips it ahead to no one in particular. Thought she expected a teammate to be there. And no one home. Early second half. A day full of soccer in Boise. The last final that's come in is the 15 boys, a 2-1 win for Santa Clara Sporting, who will head on to Frisco, Texas. They beat Rio Rapids 2-1 in overtime. Good defense. East side, not letting that Next basket through. Brinley Nelson. Collision with Megan Floyd. Causes the ball to go to Eastside. Eastside out of Washington. A win for them would mean a Washington sweep at the Far West Regional U17 group. It was Seattle United winning. Aggressive cutoff by Lauren Roberts. A little bit too aggressive. No, check it. It's going to be a push-off against Celtic Storm, so it means free kick coming for Eastside and a good chance. Here on Field 4, mentioned in Game 1, Seattle United had a goal in the 11th minute. Brandon Jonah. Put them up 1-0. Never relinquished a goal. Vicente Contreras had the clinching goal in the 87th minute. Maud Vanderkooi to take the kick. Plenty of loft. Top of the box. Off a couple of players. The green wall plays a factor, and it's blasted back out to safety. Eastside ready to make an early substitution. Let's see if they get it in here. They do. Sophia Butterfield, the commit to Western Washington, will enter the game. She'll relieve Cameron Tingy. A lot of midfield play in this game. Not many long possessions for either side deep in the opposing team's end. Mia Powers puts it ahead. And here's a good chance for Harbor to show off her skills. Left-footed chip will stay in bounds. Runs parallel to the end line and somehow stays in. Foster catches up. Ball punched out by the keeper. Settles top. Vanderyacht. And with a strange spin, Savannah Empey will scoop it up. You're watching the U17 Girls Championship for Region 4. Winner to Frisco, Texas for the U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships. Second year in a row, Boise the host for Region 4. At the Simplot Sports Complex. I think it's hot now. You should have been here last year. 110 degrees was the high for a good chunk of the tournament. The free kick by Celtic Storm. Not too much of a threat. When it's above 90 degrees, the officials have the right to stop play and issue a water break. And we had water breaks for game number 1 last year, the morning games. Just about 10 minutes into the opening or make it second half. None of these teams can establish much. It's been a tightly contested game. And there's a push. It'll belong to Celtic. So the Celtic Storm. Curtis Graham's the head coach. Quarterfinal got here by breaking a 2-2 draw in overtime. In the extra time, 2 goals, both scored by Cameron Tucker, the speedy midfielder. They won it 2-0 in the semis to get to this point. That ball never went out. No foul called either. Celtic Storm not happy with it. There's a foul as Lauren Roberts falls head first. Four defending national championships, former national champions, taking the field in Boise at the Region 4 championships, and Eastside FC, one of them. They won it back in 2013. And looking to get back to that national stage. More than 200 teams in attendance and less than 30 playing on Championship Sunday. So the field certainly narrowed down. The 3 group play stage for each team, they played those games there. Top teams from that made it to the semis, or made it to the quarters, I should say, then the semis. And now we've made it to the championship. This is McKenna Condell. Finds Allison Carlisle. Carlisle examines. This is Cameron Tucker. Tucker crosses. Lifted in the air in front of the near side post and poked out to safety. Throw in Celtic green. Celtic Storm 99 Premier out of Utah. Eastside FC 98 red out of Washington. Allison Carlisle. Condell looking to turn the edge. Floyd plays the role of sweeper. Everybody in this game are part of the 2017 high school class. So they'll all be high school seniors next year. And then a good chunk of these players already know where they're going to college. So congratulations to all of them. And congratulations to the ones that's still with plenty of options, including Callie Burt. Talking to Coach Curtis Graham before the game, mentioned that Air Force Academy or Eastern Washington could be a college choice for Burt. Corner kick coming for Celtic. Plenty of loft. Takes a bounce before anybody touches. A lot of red around the ball. But that means not a goal threat. A chase from Castilla to try to make it difficult for Celtic Storm to keep possession. But Celtic Storm with it, approaching the attacking third. Scoots out of bounds, goal kick coming. More than 15 minutes gone by, second half. Can either of these teams find a goal in the next half hour? A lot of this second half, possession has been with the team in green. This is a east side red throw. Bumping, pushing, all near the sideline on this near side. Masiri Dahl sends it back to the keeper, Empey. Empey keeps it in front and sends it opposite. More than 200 teams here. I'm trying to do the math in my head how many games that would be. If each one of those teams plays 3 games, at least, the top amount, or the top of that group plays another amount in the quarterfinals, semifinals, and final. And I have more than, 300 games? I'd be closer to 200 still. Lots of soccer over the last week here in Boise. Once again, the state capital of Idaho playing great hosts to some fantastic talent, which provides a great opportunity for college recruiters, scouts. Not to mention family and friends. Savannah Empey with the ball. What will be the mistake or what will be the great play to cause a goal? Or will we get to the point where we do PKs to decide a winner? Still plenty of time to go. About 25 minutes. This is Condell. Ball approaches the box and punched out. Well-conditioned players, you have to be getting to this point. Not many hands on hips. Don't see many deep breath on either side. They're giving it all they got. To this point, you've had to play 6 games in a week span where you're on the field, a lot of these players, for 90 minutes. Have to be in peak physical condition to make it to this point. Couple more finals in. Legends out of Southern California in the 16 girls group beat La Roca out of Utah 1-0. So it's another Southern Cal champion heading to the Nationals. Southern California just continues to produce quality programs, tons of elite clubs there. And Southern Cal not only in Region 4 does the trick, but once they get to the national stage, those teams always a force to be reckoned with. Allison Carlisle will throw in for Celtic Storm. "13 boys" is a final. Strikers out of Southern California over Alliance out of Washington 1-0. All championship action on a Sunday. And a chance for Eastside, but a strong defensive line with Celtic Storm provides a challenge. Powers. Chase from Foster. But there's Empey again. So in game one, a nice setup for the first goal in the 11th minute for Seattle United to get on the board. And then it was a mistake that allowed them to score their second on a backline turnover. A mistake for Premier FC, and United took advantage late in the game to build their 2-0 lead. Race to the ball. Dangerous. But Empey won it. And Empey retreats back to the net. Celtic Storm near side. Battle at midfield. The Dixie State commit, McKenna Condell. Throw in from Carlisle. Carlisle gets it back. Finds Weller. Vogelsberg has scored 5 goals in the tournament to lead all players at the U17 girls level, but has gathered a lot of attention in this game, not many opportunities. 19 boys final, Golden State out of Cal North, 3-0 win over Arsenal out of Arizona. Chance for Eastside on the left end, but it's deflected out. Throw in for Eastside. Just outside the box, creeps in near the end line, and it's again out of bounds. It's actually in. On the toughest part to see in or out, that was barely pinned in bounds and now settles out. Foster gave it a rip. They wanted a handball, and it was close inside the box. Should have been a PK opportunity. Instead, goal kick coming for Celtic Storm. You can sense the build-up for Eastside. They know they're close. Putting more and more pressure on Celtic Storm. And again, the later it goes, with it being scoreless, you'd have to think advantage team with fresher legs, and that's Eastside. Fresher legs meaning they just have more players to use. They can give their players more breaks, bring on fresher legs later on in the half. Wide to the right from distance. Again, Eastside building. Perhaps the longest sustained possession either team has had in the second half. Physical play in the midfield, won by Butterfield. Butterfield's taken down, and there's finally a whistle. Actually, will be Celtic Storm with the ball. No score. Approaching midway through half number 2. Chris Lewis here in Boise. Thanks for watching. the U17 Girls Championship in Region 4. Winner moves on to Nationals. Nationals late July in Frisco, Texas. Last year in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was 2013 when Eastside made it to the Nationals and won the national championship. They beat the defending regional champions, Laroca, to get to this year's championship in Region 4. Celtic Storm playing keep away. In the back, able to find that pass to clear it. But immediately a tackle, Laura Roberts, and then tries to muscle away from a couple of players on the trap near side. It's Eastside ball and a substitution. Zoe Milburn, a starter, back in. Sophia Butterfield exits. Milburn, a commit to Western Washington, one of two. We're past the midway point. It's been a struggle each way. Eastside, though, controlling it lately. Milburn just came in with fresh legs. Dumps it ahead for Riley Castilla. Nice job that time. Brooklyn Vogelsberg, one of the team's top offensive players, getting possession for Celtic Storm. Laroca is a team out of Utah, made it last year in this group. Celtic Storm looking to keep the crown within Utah, while Eastside is looking to make it a Washington sweep at the U17 level for both the boys and the girls. Siri Dahl rolls it ahead. Timing key, settles for Vogelsberg. Vogelsberg looking for space. Vogelsberg works around the box but can't find any room. The Eastside defense collapses. That one sent out of bounds, and that was one of Celtic Storm's best chances. And their top goal scorer can't convert. Molly Monroe was put to the test there, came out to break up the timing. Vogelsberg was able to keep the ball. Monroe settled back, got some help from her defense. Laura Roberts for Eastside, who just a minute ago looked like they had everything going for them. And all of a sudden, a golden chance for Celtic Storm. Out of bounds, throw-in coming. Whistles back in play. Nearly a half an hour has elapsed from the clock. Celtic Storm and Eastside FC 98 red. It's a battle between Washington and Utah. Collision in the midfield. Celtic Storm wanted a call as Brindley Nelson hit the ground. But chipping is allowed, far side of the field, it's Harbor. Harbor's great with the ball, deflected out in a corner. Corner kick, far side. Looks like Laura Roberts will head there. Here's the kick. Plenty of traffic. A punch by the keeper, Empey. Settles inside the box. Couple of touches each way. And this one will settle out wide left and out. Big call. The throw belongs to Eastside. A lot of time taken in between the throw. Officials making sure everything's in line. Here's the throw. Milburn. And it's gobbled up by Savannah Empey. Waiting to stay on sides. It's in the midst of Milburn and blasted over the net on a distance shot from Riley Castilla, the Eastern Oregon commit. Close each way. Eastside really taking control now. Although it was only a few minutes ago when Celtic Storm had a look. But now the field certainly tilted towards the left. Waller is knocked down. Here's a chance for Eastside, converted by Harbor. U17 national team player Joanna Harbor makes it 1-0. Eastside takes the lead. You can sense it coming. Chance after chance for Eastside FC. And finally, one that finds home. Comes in the 64th minute. I check it, 74th minute. 74th minute goal by Joanna Harbor. The commit to Stanford. Perhaps resume-wise, one of the more decorated players on Eastside's team. And finally, after about 10 to 15 minutes of building, the one that finds home, Joanna Harbor snuck it past Savannah Empey. Dahl. And that one's out. Goal kick for the squad in red, Eastside FC. Celtic Storm needing an answer with limited time left. And again, the thing about them, and we mentioned this throughout the broadcast, their best chances come early in the half when both teams are relatively refreshed. Later on as the half goes, the team that has fresher legs certainly wears red. That's Eastside FC. They have more players. And now as we're getting late into the second half, with temperatures now above 80 degrees, how much does Celtic Storm have left? They have a few more charges left in them, and it starts from Empey, the keeper. Finds an open target, but Cameron Tucker can't keep it down. Deflected twice. It was last touched by Weidenbach for Eastside. Throw ahead, a chase, a race. Vogelsberg, top goal scorer for Celtic Storm. Closest to it on their side, although she can't get it. A push ahead, chase down. This is Allison Carlisle. Many of the game's days already a final. This one of the later starts of the day. Beautiful through ball and a rip for the goal. What a shot. And Eastside SC has a 2-0 lead. That's how it's done. Beautiful push ahead. And then it's settled in a great position. And then a great shot. Working opposite post. And snuck it there. Out of bounds. Celtic will get it. Goal by Alex Curtin. Scored in the 82nd minute. Alexa Curtin. And now with a 2-0 lead for Eastside FC. Celtic Storm in some trouble. Eastside can sense a trip to Frisco, Texas. If they can hold on to a 2-goal lead. 2 second-half goals. And Eastside, give them credit, they waited out the early run from Celtic Storm without allowing a goal early on in the half. And now with just minutes left, we're approaching the 5-minute-to-go mark. Of course, stoppage time with a chance of being added on at the end. But 2 big goals. Eastside within the last 10 minutes. Joanna Harbor in the 74th, Alex Curtin, 82nd. A team that's been at the national stage before, Eastside FC, perhaps a few minutes away from getting back, this time to Frisco, Texas. Both the games today have been physical. That the last game, we had a couple of injury stoppages. No doubt some blood, sweat, and tears at least on one side. This is Milburn. Can't control it before it goes out of bounds. Five minutes left. Vanderyacht. Vanderyacht spins around traffic. Senna Warren playing defense on that far side. That flag is up as the ball is out of bounds. USA Stars out of Northern Cal. 1-0 win over Fullerton Rangers in a 14 girls group. Now, it's a lot of champions today. Nearly every one of them, California. Except here. We had a Washington champion, Seattle United, in Game 1. Now, Eastside out of Washington leading 2-0 in Game 2. So the Emerald State, soccer-crazed Washington, and that craziness has certainly seeped into the youth levels. Lots of great players, and we've seen some fantastic performances not only today but throughout the entire tournament. Even on the Celtic Storm team, they're out of Utah. One of their stars, Brooklyn Vogelsberg, leads the group in scoring with 5 goals. None, though, in this game. Harbor's goal was her 5th, so she, in fact, now ties Vogelsberg. And Curtin's goal was her 2nd of the tournament. Celtic Storm doing all they can with only 12 players here. So only one player is sitting on the bench at a time. Eastside talented and strengthened numbers. Tom Bielek, the head coach, looks like he's going to get back to nationals unless we see a Celtic Storm run. It has to be a great one. Need 2 goals and then some. Oh, it's cut off. What a run by Zoe Milburn. Ball hasn't been in the Celtic Storm attacking third in nearly 15 minutes. They not only need a stop there or a trip there, they need a couple. Seattle United, 98 Copa out of Washington, won the first game here early this morning. Corner coming for Celtic Storm to the near side post. Collisions each way, couple of headers, players hitting the ground. Results in a ball outside the box and a stumble and a blast for Eastside to get that one out of here. We're in the early afternoon in Boise, and not much time in this left. In fact, in regulation, before stoppage time, about 90 seconds. This is Milburn. Milburn keeps it in the corner. What a spin to keep that thing in. And Milburn turns, and that one goes out of bounds. 1 minute of stoppage time added on. Celtic Storm not only needs to move the ball up the field a minute, they need to do it twice. Tall task, but a team that accomplished a lot to get here. Lost to La Roca in the group stage, still made it to the knockout stages, and gave Eastside FC, a former national champ, a battle. First half was scoreless. Second half, Celtic had most of the control of play early. But finally, midway to late, Eastside struck with a goal. 8 minutes later, they found another. Weidenbach. Is out of bounds. Throw-in coming. Okay, we're getting to the final stages. 2-0. Harbor scored 74th minute, 82nd minute curtain. Eastside just wants possession. Celtic doesn't have much left in terms of energy. Perhaps the last offensive touch for Celtic Storm 99 Premier, the club out of Utah. They get it up the field. Through the midfield and Condell. And scooped up by Monroe. Eastside FC heads to Frisco and a chance for another national championship. 2-0 Eastside FC beats Celtic Storm and becomes the Region 4 U17 regional champions. Joanna Harbor scored 74th minute. It was Alice Curtin 82nd minute. On a close game most of the way, but late second half, perhaps strengthened numbers for Eastside FC. And they'll be heading off from the east side to Frisco, Texas. Once again, the final score 2-0. It's a victory for Eastside, which makes it a Washington sweep. Seattle United winners in Game 1. In the U17 boys, they head to Frisco, Texas, after beating LA Premier FC White. Both games and all the coverage here from the Simplot Sports Complex brought to you by Nike, the official supplier of U.S. Youth Soccer, by Bubba Burger, the official family fun burger, Kohl's, the official department store of U.S. Youth Soccer, National Mango Board, an official snack of U.S. Youth Soccer, MLS, official grassroots partner, Nestle Nesquik, the official post-game drink, and by Positive Coaching Alliance, Toyota, the official automobile of U.S. Youth Soccer, Wilson Trophy Company, the official awards, medals, and pin supplier, the National Soccer Coaches Association of America, official sponsor of U.S. Youth Soccer, by Liberty Mutual Insurance, the official auto, home, life, and workers' compensation insurance, and by Turbo Sports Group, the official video streaming company of U.S. Youth Soccer. So the U17 at Field 4 Simplot Sports Complex in Boise, Idaho. Game 1, LA Premier dropped it to Seattle United, 98 Copa, with Jonah and Contreras scoring the goals. And then in Game 2, it's Eastside FC, 98 Red, who are Region 4 champs, beating Celtic Storm again by that 2-0 score. For everybody with Turbo Sports Group who helped put this broadcast and all the ones here in Boise together, my name is Chris Lewis signing off. Thanks for watching the U.S. Youth Soccer National Championship Series, Region 4 U17.